Welcome everyone. I hope that you are enjoying your coding experience so far. Always remember, I am just an email away and I will do the very best that I can. So what I wanted to do today is just give you some insights on how to get a good grade on this activity. Please understand Zybooks has its own way of doing things. I am a bit more stringent because now we're talking about real code. So let's go and take a look at what they ask us. Mad Libs are activities that have a person provide various words which are used to complete a short story in unexpected and hopefully funny ways. So you're going to write a program that takes a string and an integer as inputs and outputs a sentence. So what we want to do here is we want to keep doing an output as long as the user item does not put in quit in here. So if the user puts in quit, it disregards the integer. But that in itself doesn't really make a lot of sense, because if you type in quit, it's not good programming that they still have to type in the integer. So let's take a look at how we can solve this dilemma. The very first thing you want to do is make sure that you comment the top, because I do look for that. So let's go and put in some comments. So at the very top, you're going to put your name. And I'll just put your name to make it generic. That's assuming I can spell. Then what I'm going to do here is we'll do lab 335. And then you can just put the purpose of the program, a brief description. This program will get user input until quit to output something, funny. Or you can just pretty much copy what's up there. So what we want to do here is we want to declare sensible items. Now, I'm going to do this in a way that you would want to submit it to me. So the first thing you want to do is declare items that make sense, and remember to comment what they are. So the first thing we'll do is string, and we'll do item. Now, I like to initialize everything. I'm not holding you to do it, but I think it's good practice. And then you would put purpose of so I'll let you put in your own. As soon as I learn how to spell, we'll do it. And then you're going to do an integer and quantity. And again, I like to initialize everything. So then the first thing we need to do is put in a cout. What is the item? And I'm putting in a question mark, a space, and no end line. Then I'm going to do cin item. And this actually is going to cause a problem, and you'll see in a minute. So the next one is going to be cin would be for the quantity. So our prompt would be how many or what quantity. And then we're going to do a cin, and we're going to get our quantity. So now we're good. So we need to input on those two things, and then we need to output that eating 5 apples a day keeps you healthy, happy, and healthy. So let's just create our output now first. And we'll move things around. Eating. And I'm putting a space here. Quantity. And then we need a space. And I believe apples. So we're going to put in item. A day makes you happy and healthy. My bucket list is to learn how to spell. And then we'll put in an end line as well. So now we have something that's going to do just strictly get an item and get a quantity and then print that. But it's not going to keep going until we need to quit. So what we want to do is put it inside a do while loop or a regular while loop. So let's go and put that in here, and then I'll show you what the problem is. So strictly is if you go and you input the item and it's quit, we're still asking how many for the quantity. So we need a way to fix that. And it's really, really very simple. The easiest way to do it is start off with what is the item here. And then let's just go and do a while item does not equal quit. And we want our brackets here. So the first thing we want to do is get how many and a quantity eating. So if we run this right now, what'll happen is it'll ask for the item, get the item, check to see if it's quit. If it's not quit, it's going to print how many, and then it's going to physically get the quantity and then print that out. However, now we have a dilemma because we're going to be in an endless loop. So what we need to do here is do the same thing here. And that should take care of it. So I'm going to copy and paste this into Visual Studio, and then I'm going to test it for errors, and then I will come right back to you. Okay, so I tested it. In my haste, I left out a semicolon inside of Zybooks. So I always copy and paste my Zybooks activities into Visual Studio and test it. So let's go and run this. So the first thing we're going to do is test it if we run quit and see if it actually does anything. So let's click on quit. We're typing quit. And no, so it does not do anything. Well, so that part's good. So then we're going to type in apples and 5. And eating 5 apples a day makes you happy and healthy. Let's try pears. And let's put in 10. And then we'll do one more. Do peaches. And 7. And then we'll quit. So notice that it never does ask for the item. So while the program would work if you had that extra C in, it's not considered best practices, and it's very confusing. So I'm going to copy and paste this back into Zybooks. And if I try to run it, it's going to give me some errors because I have the C out in here. So what you can do is just make sure that when you send it to me, you comment these things out. So that's all you really need to do. Now I'm in develop mode. So when you're done, you're going to go into submit mode. And then you're going to submit for grading. And once you do that, then I will get a copy of it and I will be able to grade it. I will try to give you as many useful comments as I humanly possibly can. So that is it. So let's just recap, making sure that you're putting comments on the very top and you're putting inline comments here. I did not do that for time's sake. But remember, declaring variable is not really a good comment. So here you would want to be a little bit more specific. There's not a real lot of comments you really need to do. But what you can just do, remember, is putting the quantity inside the while loop is going to save you having to type in the quantity if the item is quit in there. So that is it. Please look at the video. Please leave your comments. Let me know what you think and anything else that you would like made, and I'd be more than happy to it. Have a wonderful, wonderful day, and I'm glad that you're here.